Our next coach is Karl Morgan from Mississippi Valley State. Mississippi Valley State fell to Delta State by a final score of 24-14, and this week they will travel to Lorman to face Alcorn State. Coach Morgan, are you with us this morning?
Yes, sir.
Appreciate your time. If you could talk about last weekend and preview your road match with Alcorn.
I was a disappointing loss in the sense that we led at halftime 7-3 and gave up 21 points in the second half. Only scored 7. So we had chances. We had chances to win. We won the turnover battle 4-1, but came out on the short end of the stick on the scoreboard. And like I said, the late scores, the 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter were devastating to us. Got it to 17-14. We were down by 3, and got stopped on the drive, and then they scored on the next drive, and basically sealed our fate. We head to into conference play this weekend against Alcorn. Alcorn is 1-1. Was very impressive in beating Edward Waters. Mississippi State was just a team that physically, I think, outmatched them last week more so than anything. So we're expecting a good game from them. I think they're an improved team compared to the team we played last year. So we gotta get better in a hurry as we head into conference play.
The floor is open to ask questions for Karl Morgan, head football coach at Mississippi Valley State.
Hey, Coach Morgan. Good morning. This is Charles Edmond from WPRL.
Charles, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Coach, the last couple of years, obviously, has been an issue with your quarterback and trying to have a healthy quarterback. Talk about your quarterback, Jeremy Collins. 50 passing attempts last week, and I'm sure that was way too many.
Yeah. I don't know if you win. I don't. There's no set number on how many is enough or too many. But I think that we weren't able to run the ball Saturday. It kind of led us to throwing the ball on a regular basis, and we've got to do a better job of sustaining drives, being able to drive the football. We had 4 3-and-outs the first 4 possessions, and I think the first 2 weeks of the season we started very poorly. Quarterback play is an issue, and it has been an issue. This is the 4th year, and we're still trying to find a guy, Patrick Ivy, who started the Florida A&M game, got hurt. Did practice this week. We wanted to save him. We didn't want to have a chronic injury situation as we had last year. So with our quarterback last year, so we're trying to save him for the Alcorn game. And Jeremy Collins wound up starting in the first start of his career, and like I said, picked up some valuable experience. It's nothing like playing. So that'll help him down the road, and it'll help us down the road. But it has been an issue. I think we're a little bit better than we were in the past, but it's yet to be completely shown that we are better.
Coach, last year the theme of your team was running the football, and your defensive and offensive line was pretty strong. Through the first couple of games, have you been able to get a handle on the calling card of this 2013 football team?
That's hard to tell. We lost 7 starters on defense last year, so that has taken its toll. I think we got some guys that have some talent that we replaced those 7 starters with, but they're not they're not completely comfortable in what they're doing, and so we've got to evaluate what we're asking them to do and how much we're trying to do, and offensively. We don't have the same 2 running backs we had last year. There were 2 good running backs for 2 years for us. So it's been kind of a transition on both sides of the ball. And I think we'll get better. I think, with time we'll be better. And that's just a learning curve that's going on right now.
Coach, what do you expect this week when you go to Alcorn? Of course, Arnold Walker is their senior running back, and John Gibbs. Talk a little about those 2.
I think the quarterback is better than he was last year. He's improved. Can run the ball. Is a threat with his feet. can throw the ball also. I was impressed when I watched the film yesterday against Edward Waters, and I thought he was accurate and making good plays. And I thought the running back ran the ball hard and well, ran it hard against Mississippi State. I think he's a good player, and like I say, he runs with power. And we had some problems this past week tackling Delta State's backs. So we've got to do a great job of hitting, wrapping, and running our feet on contact on a powerful back.
Coach, coaches always talk about improvement from one week to the next. What was the biggest improvement from week 1 to week 2?
I think ball security was better. Like I said, we were 4-1 as far as the winning the takeaway deal through a late interception on the last drive. Ball was tipped, but that was a positive deal. I thought our special teams play was good, was decent. So I think, and one of the things we stressed was ball security and taking the ball away, and I think that helped us in the first half. They turned the ball over 4 times in the first half, so that gave us a chance to get out front. And I think that was a good improvement. And I still think we got a ways to go as far as honing up our techniques and execution offensively and defensively.
Coach, with Julian Stafford beginning the preseason spotlight in the offense and Robert Simpson spotlighting the defense, it seems like you've had a few players emerging, especially on defense with Avery Boykin and Devon Jones, who just picked up SWAC newcomer of the week. Talk about the maturation of those guys, of those players from the early part of the preseason up until now, kind of making a name for their own.
I think they're coming. I think, like I said, there's a lot of guys that are new in the lineup on both sides of the ball, and I think they're making strides. Devon Jones picked off 2 passes this past weekend, has real good ball skills, and he started this week. First week he didn't play much. We said, let's give him a chance, see what he can do, and we were pleased with the 2 interceptions. Still has to get more physical on the run, and with his tackling. Avery Boykin has been a pleasant surprise. Both of those guys are from the same junior college in Arizona, and they're getting better. Like I said, we'll be hopefully better, defensively and offensively, and in the kicking game, as we play more games. And it's a process now of just getting guys comfortable in what they're doing, and getting everybody comfortable playing together. And so that's what we're fighting. We're a little impatient, but we still understand that we got to be patient because they haven't played here at Valley for us.
Coach Ken Rashad,
Any more questions?
Yes.
Karl Morgan, go ahead.
Coach Ken Rashad, TSPN Sports. Obviously, the struggles that you've had to encounter during the time that you've been with Mississippi Valley are well documented in terms of resources and so forth. However, the first 2 weeks of the season have been unsuccessful for you with the loss to FAMU and, of course, this loss to Delta State. While you may not necessarily be responsible for what other conferences or what other schools have done, SWAC schools have done against non-conference opponents, there is a growing perception of the SWAC's inability to compete against FCS schools and even schools that are competing at sub FCS level. What, if anything, what fundamental changes do you think the conference could make as it relates to scheduling or anything that could possibly thwart those perceptions?
I can't speak for everybody else, but I can speak for Valley. The perception that, when we play a Delta State, a Division II school 34 miles away, is that we are superior off the top. But, they got more resources than we have. I don't know about the rest of the conference. I know I'm just speaking of what we have. We got 39 scholarships. They can have 36. So the scholarship limit is fairly close. They have more students over there, so they have more student fees as far as a bigger budget. And this is just the cold hard. Our athletic budget, our football budget here is $127,000 for the whole season. So resources come into play. And like I said, I'm all for playing out of conference. I think we have to do that. I think we need to play in the playoffs, to be honest with you. I think the conference, that there is a perception, and it's probably a rightful perception, that when we face non-SWAC schools, we don't fare well, and that's a truth. That's the truth. That's not a perception when you come down to it. But I think we need to keep playing it, and I think, like I said, this Delta State series is a 4-year series. I'd like to see it played every year, because I think it'll help us raise our game up, and rise to a higher standard. I think playing the Tennessee States of the world, we played South Carolina State before, we played Murray State. We played out of conference. We tried to play out of conference. We played Northwestern State last year. We tried to play out of conference every year against another FCS school that's not in the SWAC. Because I think it raises your level of competition when you play against a high caliber of competition. So I'm all for it. Like I said, I know our situation here is different. We don't have what a lot of people in the conference has in terms of scholarship and money. So we're going to keep playing those schools, because I think that's what we want to be able to judge ourselves by playing against those kind of schools.
Coach, we're out of time. We appreciate you joining us. Good luck against Alcorn State at 2 p.m. this coming Saturday. We look forward to talking to you next week.
Sounds good.